You know, we throw the words internet and web around all the time, pretty much interchangeably, right? Like, I'm hopping on the internet when we're really just scrolling through websites. But what if I told you that the internet and the web are actually two totally different things? Yeah. So let's clear this up once and for all.
So let's get right to it. The internet and the web, are they the same thing? It's so easy to think they are, and honestly, most of us do. But the answer is a big, fat no. And figuring out why is kind of the key to really getting a handle on the digital world we all live in.
Okay, so to get our heads around this, let's start with a really simple but I think a really powerful analogy. Just think about the difference between the entire vast universe and the map you might use to navigate a tiny piece of it.
This really breaks it down perfectly. The internet is the universe. It's the massive physical infrastructure, all the cables, the servers, the hardware. The World Wide Web, then, is the map. It's the map we use to find our way around that universe. It's the content, the websites, the stuff that lives on that infrastructure. So one is hardware, the other is information.
And yeah, the internet is a physical thing. I mean, really physical. It's a gigantic worldwide network of networks. We're talking about the actual fiber optic cables running under the ocean, the huge server farms humming away in data centers, and yeah, even the little router blinking in your house. It's all the hardware connecting us.
Now, the World Wide Web, that's how we actually access all that stuff that's on the internet. It's all the websites, the pages, the files, all of it linked together and served up to you through a browser. The web is the content. The internet is basically the container it all lives in.
Okay, so if the web is our map, how do we find a specific spot? Well, we use a digital address, something we all know as a URL.
Let's just grab this example here. Now, this might just look like a simple line of text to you, but believe me, every single part of this URL has a very specific job to do in getting you exactly where you want to go.
Let's pull this apart. First, you've got HTTP. That's the protocol, basically the language your browser uses to ask the server for the web page. Then www, that's the subdomain telling us we're on the World Wide Web. The middle part, education.gov.fj, that's the unique domain name. And inside that, .gov is the top-level domain, so we know it's a government site. And .fj is the country code, telling us it's based in Fiji. See? It's like a perfectly structured address for the digital world.
But you know, the web isn't just about information and addresses. It's about people. And anytime you get a bunch of people together, a culture starts to form. And online, we call that cyberculture.
This online connection has created this whole new thing, cyberculture. It's the set of social rules, the slang, the etiquette that exists online. What's so wild about it is that it groups people together based on what they're interested in, not where they physically live.
This quote really just hits the nail on the head. I mean, think about social media, right? Friends who haven't actually spoken to each other in a year might know what the other person had for breakfast this morning. It just shows how incredibly powerful and kind of strange these digital connections can be, and how something typed on a screen can have a huge impact on real life.
So, if we're all explorers on this digital map, what are the tools we're all using to communicate and share what we find?
Well, for talking in real time, two of the big ones are instant messaging and chat. IM is usually the more sophisticated one. It can handle file transfers, voice, video. Think of things like Skype. Chat, on the other hand, is usually simpler, just text-based, which often makes it cheaper and easier to use.
And of course, we cannot forget the OG, the granddaddy of them all, electronic mail. Email is still one of the most common and fundamental ways we send messages and files across the internet. It was really the first killer app.
So we've gone from one-to-one communication to one-to-many with blogs. A blog is basically a public journal where anyone can share their thoughts, their ideas, their opinions with the entire world.
Wikis take that idea and totally flip the script. They turn it into many-to-many collaboration. Here, the community itself builds the content. Wikipedia is the perfect example. It's this incredible user-generated library of knowledge. But the big challenge is, and always will be, making sure all that information is actually accurate.
We've also got podcasts, which is kind of like having your own personal radio station on demand. They're just audio files you can download and listen to whenever, wherever, and on pretty much any topic you can possibly imagine.
And finally, the big one, social networks. These are the giants that often combine all these other tools into one platform, but they're not all the same, are they? You've got your general sharing platforms like Facebook, you have the visual-first sites like Instagram and YouTube, and then you have professional networks like LinkedIn.
Each one serves a totally different purpose.
But here's where things get really wild. This digital universe isn't just staying inside our screens anymore. It's expanding. It's leaking out and starting to merge with our physical world. And this is what we call the Internet of Things, or IoT. The whole idea is to take everyday physical objects, your car, your refrigerator, your watch, and embed them with sensors and software so they can connect to the internet. And all of a sudden, these objects can talk to each other and exchange data, which really starts to blend our physical and digital worlds together.
So what counts as a thing? Well, the examples are pretty incredible. It could be a person with a heart monitor implant that's constantly sending data to their doctor, or a farm animal with a biochip transponder, or it could be something as simple as your car with built-in sensors that tell you when a tire is getting low. Basically, if an object can be given an IP address, it can now be part of the network.
Which brings us to our final thought here. That line between the physical hardware of the internet and the digital information on the web is getting blurrier and blurrier as more everyday objects join the network. Our physical and digital worlds are merging more every single day, so the only question left really is what comes next?